Good morning, St. Louis. It is that time. It is 7 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. So you know what time it is. It's time for the St. Louis Hustle Podcast with yours truly, CORTEZ Hustle. My girl, Michelle A, will be in a moment. And we're talking about body images today. How do you help foster a positive body image in our young girls today? It's about to go down, man, because this is a serious issue, especially with all the things that's going on with the gram. And do you these kids are doing everything for the gram, and there's cyberbullying going on. We've got to make sure that we get a handle on this and get a handle on it early and deal with it not only efficiently but also effectively, because we know the long-term effects that negativity can have on our children. You go through bullying and that stuff can haunt you for years and years and years. So that's what it is today, man. Do me a favor, comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand, and smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen. And let's kick it.
Growing up in St. Louis has never been easy, and most say if you want to succeed here, that you must leave and put down roots somewhere else because of the strong crabs in a barrel mentality here.
I don't know if I'm just an optimistic person, but to see people like Chuck Berry and Nelly make it in the music industry, or the Roberts brothers and Dave Stewart in business, or William Lacey Clay Jr. in politics, can we blame the city, or is it that people just aren't hungry enough?
We're talking to all of the movers and shakers in this town, from entertainers to politicians, social activists and organizers, and of course, entrepreneurs.
Is there a curse on this city that holds people back? Is there an unseen hand that decides who makes it and who doesn't? You're about to find out.
Welcome to St. Louis Hustle.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the St. Louis Hustle Podcast. I'm your host, CORTEZ. Girl, Michelle. Hey.
Oh, I'm glittery today. Hey.
Of course, coming to you live and direct from the Bob Crane Finance and Tax Planning Services Studios right here in St. Louis, Missouri. As I always say, if you don't have a good tax planner in your life, you are slipping on your pimping. I'm not talking about a tax preparer. Yeah, we know that you're going to get your taxes filed and done by December 31st, January 31st at the latest. But had you have someone preparing those taxes or planning your tax strategy all year long? Listen, Uncle Sam is planning to take your money all year long. You need to be planning how not to give it to him all year long. Comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand, and click on the link in the description and in the show notes if you need to connect with my good friend Bob. He's got tons of free resources for you so that you can learn the ins and outs of the tax game and how to build generational wealth. So today we got a hot topic for you today, man. How do we foster healthy body images in our children today with all of this stuff that's going on via social media? It's all about the gram and all of these things, man. We got to make sure that our children are using these platforms to their benefit and not being harmed by them. So, Chalet, how was your weekend, sis?
First of all, good morning. Boy, I was coming in hot this morning. I was like, am I going to make it? All because I had my crack in the can. So this is what I need to do. I need to get a hold to the good people over at Bang Energy Drink people. They need to sponsor this damn show. Simply because I can't start a show, let alone a morning, without one of these. And that's what had me out there speeding down Newhall's Ferry, trying to get back. And yeah, that's how it was. I feel like my weekend just passed, like in the last 10 minutes. Man, my weekend.
I'm just gonna say this, Michelle.
What you got?
You can get a couple of those in the evening. How about on Monday night? You just go get your couple of them and just have them on chill in the refrigerator.
I can ask for that. It would be too much like writing, and you wouldn't get all this excitement on Tuesday morning if I did it Monday night. It would not be exciting and fun seeing me, you know what I'm saying, rush and knock over stuff as I try to get my screens and everything set up. I don't know what's gonna happen during the A word of the day, because you're probably gonna see some drawers hanging over there, bro. If you take me out to the wide angle, I'm not responsible for what you see around me. So you may want to proceed with caution today. Today is not the day for that, for the wide angle. The weekend was, I got to speak on this. I'm going to speak on it a little bit more during the A word of the day, but I went to a homegoing celebration this weekend for a really good friend of mine, my barber's father, and Dwight Foster Sr. And man, when I tell you people come together and celebrate life, funerals are for dead folks. But celebrations about somebody going home, they are everything. And when I tell you, we went and told these people church up, we went and told these people church up, you know, and he was an amazing man. I didn't know him that well. I only knew him from a standpoint of, he always had a joke for me. Hey, let me tell you a joke. It's LOL. Let me tell you something funny. You know, and just a good dude, but the way
Wait a minute.
What?
So you're a comic, right? All right, so I got something for you.
Right. 99% of the time, because I did, you know, those of you guys that don't know, I did comedy in the church for about 10 years, you know, altogether 16, but I did it in the church and toured and did it for church, whatever. And so 99% of the time, people be like, hey, I got a joke for you. Let me tell you something. It's funny. And I'll be like, boy, that is good stuff right there. And it'd be like when I'm in passing, I'm on the floor, I just shouted myself, and I'm laid out on the floor. They'd be like, let me tell you a joke. Okay. All right. But yeah, so I'll talk about, I got something. I love it when you go to a homegoing celebration and you walk away with something, because that really is the intention. It shouldn't be just that you go and you celebrate the family, you celebrate the life of the person. But when you have an effective pastor that brings the word, and my pastor from the last church I was at, the worship center, Maya White, she has a way of bringing the word and letting that thing work. And then when God does what he does, he gonna hit everybody. So it was a word of the day. Boom, I got you. Yeah, there it is.
Love it. All right, what's going on in the Lou this weekend? I don't know. Gateway to Pride exhibit. It's a virtual free event going on today. All right, for the LGBTQIA plus community.
They got a plus in there? Boy, they are coming up.
That's what it says. The Alice and Immersion Cocktail Experience, 5,800 Grab Boys, $43. That's going down tonight. You can check that out.
Oh, okay.
Beyond the Ballot. All right. So we got some stuff going on in St. Louis. If you go to Explore STL, exploreStLouis.com/events, you can get an idea of what's going on. The World Chess Hall of Fame has got something going on today. 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Yeah, it's going down. So just for those of you guys who are wondering, What Up Though is coming real soon, so that we can have a easy place to go find out where our events are happening. Because apparently none of us submit our events to Explore St. Louis.
We don't. There it is. You said it, and it's out for the world to see and to know. We don't really submit to them things.
Like, people are trying to find out what's going on in St. Louis, and none of our events are on here. I know somebody is playing something.
You know what? I would just say, you know what? That's going to be so monumental, right? The What Up Though calendar. I'm looking forward to it because, you know, there are some places that will barbecue. That will advertise in those places, right? What's going on in Lou, that thing you're reading. And so, yeah. Okay. So Explore St. Louis. Like if you're doing a barbecue festival,
right.
But people that are having like a rib fest, or people that are doing like, you know what I'm saying, ribs, and they just doing something in the whole neighborhood doing a block party, and they're not gonna put nothing in Explore St. Louis. Right. So yeah, What Up Though? I'm looking forward to that. It's coming. Boy, get ready, do your cheese. Get ready.
All right. Well, Michelle, ask me about my weekend.
What? Hey, Cortez, how was your weekend this weekend?
Well, my weekend was spent, Michelle, getting all of my ish together for
What?
the first ever taping of the
I
Black Biz
saw
Success
it.
Show.
Yay.
Yes, yes. When I tell you it's about to go down, Michelle, I ain't
It's
even playing.
about
I
to
had
go,
one of the
man.
greatest producers come in and let me do my
Come
thing and kind of
on.
helped and guided me along the way. My girl Ariel acted as associate producer on
Awesome.
the set, got some of the good behind the scenes footage for me. And really, guys, this show is something that has always been on my heart. I believe
Awesome.
wholeheartedly that Black people should be the number one employers of Black people. This is what I believe. Every other culture, if you go into the Asian community, they are the number one employers of Asians. Jews are the number one employers of Jewish people. And 95% of Black people work for somebody else. And my mission, the reason I've been put on this planet during this time and space, is to change that. And one of the ways that I'm going to change that is through my awareness campaign on the Black Biz Success Show. So I just want to give you
Awesome.
guys a little bit of the experience of the supernova explosion that is about to take place
Nova.
in the Black
That's
business
what I'm talking about.
community. Check this out. Yeah, Black Business Success Show. It's about to go down, ladies and gentlemen. And
I
Michelle
thought
thought
I
she
had
had
more
time
time.
to give her QT flat in. Nope.
I thought
Nope.
I was gonna have a little
Nope.
time.
No,
That's
it's time for the word of the day, ladies and
I'm over here learning
gentlemen.
lessons. Over here learning lessons. Okay.
All right.
Woo!
It is that
Where
time
my
for the
boyfriend?
Michelle A word of the day. So let's give her a proper introduction.
And now the Michelle I word of the day.
Dang. Okay, well, yeah, I'm a little raggedy. But that's okay because we still are going to do a word of the day, right? So I wanted to share with you guys. I had an opportunity this weekend, like I said, to go to a homegoing. And this homegoing was just so phenomenal. And it touched and impacted me in so many different ways. But what I came away with outside of celebrating, of course, the life of my dear friend's father, I came away with just be, right? A lot of times we spend the most of our lives, or the majority of our lives, trying to make sure everything fits into every puzzle piece fits into every piece of the puzzle correctly or whatever. And we spend a lot of time micromanaging relationships, and we spend a lot of time micromanaging situations when for real, if we trust God and just kind of let it be, I promise you it'll work itself out, right? And just I walked away with a newfound sense of really, in a way, who I am, and just how to exist in being who I am. And I kind of knew it, but it's something about, when you hear about a man's life and he lived his life being who he was, and that was enough. It was enough. He was a great guy. He influenced people. He was a father. He was a husband. He was an uncle, a granddad, and he was the life of the party. Always had the positive word. Just a good dude. And so many people came together to speak positive about this brother, and it was so inspirational. So I walked away determined to just be me, just be Michelle A, to continue to love folks, to continue to laugh. Y'all know I like a good sugar shack party. I will go sugar shacking, and I won't allow the constraints of religion, not relationship with God, that's different, but religion. I'm not going to let those restraints and what society says you shouldn't do, you should look like this, you should look like that. I'm not going to let that stop me from being me, right? And so it's quite freeing when you see someone who's lived their life just being who they are, and it was enough, and so sometimes we need that reminder, who you are right now, this day, this moment is enough. Just be. Just be, people. That's your Michelle A. Word of the day. That is.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for that fabulous word of the day. And you guys
So
know we got to
fabulous.
give a shout out. The Michelle A. Word of the Day is powered by Bob Crane Financial and Tax Planning Services. And it's all about building generational wealth, people. And one of the reasons that stop most of us from building that generational wealth is that we don't understand how the tax code is set up. And we're giving a lot of our money away to Uncle Sam that could be used to build generational wealth. And one simple thing that you can do, and I'm not a tax professional or tax advisor, financial planner, any of that stuff, connect with my guy Bob, click on the link in the show notes and in the description to connect with him. But the more money you put into your retirement, the less you pay in taxes. Just want to throw that out there. I know we often think that we can't afford to put that money away. Like, I need every penny in this check, but I'm telling you, if you get every penny on the front end, you're going to give a lot of it away to Uncle Sam on the back end. So you might as well take some of it and put it into your 401k, your IRA, your SEP, whatever you got going on. Ask your tax professional, ask your financial planners, which of these are the best tax strategies that will reduce my taxes when I do these investments. And they'll tell you, and you max those things out, and it's going to save you in the long run, while at the same time accessing the eighth wonder of the world, which is compound interest, and let that money get growing for you. So, Michelle, we're talking today about body image. And something you said to me years and years and years ago. I don't know if you remember this conversation, but we're going to talk about that. But we're talking about how do you help your daughter develop a positive body image. But we're going to say children and as a whole. We're going to focus with the daughters, but with the gram, I've seen now men or young boys starting to have these issues with. It's always been a thing where, as a young boy, you wanted to look like the OG in the hood, or you wanted to look like the player in the hood, or you wanted to look like that person in the hood that got the most respect.
Right.
Now, but with that, it was more authentic. With the gram, with the ability to fabricate so much stuff, right? When you looked up to the OG in the hood, chances are he really was an OG. And if you wanted to be like him, you were being a version of that person's authentic self. But on the gram, on the gram, know, they got fake rooms that look like a private jet.
You're right. Oh my goodness!
Go take your pictures on the fake private jet, right? It's crazy, and our babies are getting caught up in that world. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Comment in the chat. Have you ever dealt with body shaming as a teen or a girl, or and I know all of us have, because most people who body shame don't do it intentionally. There are some cruel people, but this is why these conversations are important, so that we can become aware of how we talk, how we behave, that could be causing people harm unbeknownst to us, right? We got to start looking at every little thing. So I'm going to kick us off, Michelle, with help your daughter develop a positive body image. Young girls get bombarded with media messages that can make it hard for them to feel good about their appearance. Here are some practical ways to help your daughter develop a healthy self-esteem about her appearance. Number one, manage media messages, establish limits. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends limiting TV time to 2 hours a day or less. Be selective about the shows your family watches instead of leaving the set on all the time. You reduce some of the media influences on your child and free up time for more productive activities. Now, this is old school in their writing, because it says limit the TV time, but limit social media time, limit media time,
screen time.
Yes, and not just screen though, Michelle, because they read these books, these romance novels. They look at these magazines.
Oh,
like
my goodness.
media time. You got to make sure that you are monitoring your child's media time. And even for guys, especially the young athletes who will pick up a muscle magazine and they're leaning towards and performance enhancing drugs to get the buff and the swole on and all of that kind of stuff. We got to be ever present in the lives of our children and plan the activities for your family so you know what they're doing. You can't give them too much free time, right?
Absolutely. I just want to piggyback on that. First, I'm gonna say today you notice I'm dressed somewhat casual today because normally, you know, I'm a little eclectic sometimes with the way I dress, and I'm very expressive with the way that I dress. And so today I specifically wore a sweatshirt because I wanted to, because I knew we were talking about this.
Yeah.
From a standpoint of raising, I've raised 2 daughters. It's super important, you know, just this first point as far as making sure we watch what they're watching, know what they're looking at, know what's consuming their time, because at the end of the day, those things set images in their mind. You can tell your children all day long, oh, you're beautiful, you're this, you're that. But if you keep before them the things of this world, so to speak, the things that they see on TV, you can talk to your blue in the face and they're going to lean towards what's popular. So it really is, it takes a village and you really have to be strong all the way around. The schools give it a crack. They try to mitigate what is talked about and celebrated in school, so to speak. But when you have some parents doing it and not the majority of parents doing it, there's, you know, some of these other things work their way in. So TV, media, romance novels, people who sleep on romance novels, them some nasty little things. If you know your kids read a lot and they always reading little crazy books with the crazy titles, Hidden Treasures in South Africa. No, it ain't about treasures in South Africa. It's about some other stuff. You better get your kids. Anywho, I just kind of want to just speak on that because this is so important to me. So, all right. So number 2, we're going to move on. This is so good. Discuss media portrayals of women, right? Watch TV with your kids. Talk about whether your favorite actress, talk about what they represent, if what they represent is a realistic image of female beauty. Compare celebrities. Look at who's doing things naturally, who's not. Look at those who've had those radical surgeries, those who have not. Set that before your kids and kind of make the comparison to give them the other side of the game. Here's what you need to do. Kids are attracted to, because the society we live in, to money and success. You need to be able to show them people who have healthy body images that are successful. The person that I immediately think of, 2 people that I immediately think of from the female standpoint is Lizzo for kids today. And I also think of Monique for back in the day, right? Those are 2 ladies that were plus size and they don't give a damn. I follow Lizzo on TikTok and that is my girl. Shout out. I am just so inspired from the standpoint that this girl went to the game with her ass out. She was like, you know what? I'm out here looking like I'm covered in the front, but behind me. Everybody behind me to get the view of a lifetime. They saw all her buttocks. She didn't care, you know, but she has a image, a healthy self-image where whether I'm 180, 150, or 250 or 280, I love me. You know, and that is so important for a young lady, especially for young ladies that have grown up chunky, such as myself. I had to, pre-surgery, after surgery, whatever, I had to learn to love me regardless, you know, and that is the thing that people have to really be aware of. I don't care if your surgery is weight loss surgery, butt lift surgery, face surgery. That's face surgery. You know, when they nip and they tuck up there. I don't care what surgery it is. We have to understand that surgery or not, you can still have all that done and still have a low self-image of yourself. So you might as well start trying to love who you are authentically so that no matter, I don't give a damn if I'm 230 or 203.
Right.
I love me, you know, and here's the funny thing. When I started loving me, other people started loving me. And I was like, well, I'll be damn. I love all this wonderfulness, all of this. It works. So just, take the time to have those discussions with your girls and your boys, your kids, adolescents, teens. Don't let up.
And that's one of the reasons that we are in media space. You and I both, your company, A Media and Marketing, me with online marketing, and now I Hustle Media Group, is because we have to change these things. When you realize, a lot of people don't realize this, but from behind the camera, they control everything. And one of the hardest things for my sugar to do, bless her heart, is to watch TV with her man. Because all I see is the marketing engine churning, right? But speaking of this, having these conversations, the second thing that I see is the exploitation.
Oh my God, great word. Exactly.
Everything, right? And I'm going to tell you, these are some of the weirdest things that I know. So, All American, there's a popular TV show called All American. I think it airs originally on WB. We just kind of binge watch. We don't never watch anything that's live. We typically binge watch, after it's been out, we watch a whole season, right? But this is a series about high school kids, right? High school athlete, and I think it's based on a true story. Athlete out in California, superstar football player. We picked up the series. They're following him as a sophomore, right?
Okay.
Why are there real live sex scenes with these? Like, that's child pornography, isn't it? Even though the actors playing these roles might be grown. Because, an actor could play, I can be 21 playing a 15-year-old, right, if I have the look. But the impression, right? I'll give you another one that really ticked me off, right? The new movie, I'm so excited to go watch this, is King Richard with Will Smith playing Venus and Serena's dad, right? There's a movie on this. And I'm watching as the promo is going. And at one point, one of the girls, because this was portraying them when they 13, 14 years old, goes up to serve. And why is the camera angle under her skirt? Now, when you understand that in media, every single shot is looked at a gazillion times before it's determined whether it makes the actual final cut.
Absolutely.
What strategic advantage did they gain by leaving that shot in?
Sex sales. That's it. Sex sales, and that's listen, so sad.
I get that part, but now y'all want this. Now I'm thinking Harvey Weinstein and some of these guys who have been accused of doing some horrendous things. Because if you're saying sex sales, and this particular scene is of a girl, now you're saying child sex sales.
So you know what? And it's sad. It is sad about the world we live in. But that's why there has to be media spaces for us, for people like us. And y'all might sleep on us now. We might seem small now. But when this joker over here finished taking over the world, when he finished doing what he's doing, I'm doing what I'm doing to change the world of television and media. Come on. This doesn't have to be the main thing, but I agree 100% with what you say. The exploitation of things that you see alone. I could take you back 20 years. My kids are Disney Channel kids, but I could take you back 20 years to Disney Channel, and they had kissing scenes on these Disney shows they have for girls that are 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. Putting them in situations with boyfriends, not putting them in healthy situations, saying, no, Tom, I'm not ready to have sex yet. Or, I don't want to be a lovey-dovey and kissy with you. They're not highlighting the girls that are saying no. They're highlighting the ones that have a stop sign approach. We can go, but we're going to stop. We can go, but we're going to stop. And that's a very dangerous, I tell you, this is grown-ass woman. That's a dangerous approach to have, is that theory that you can go so far and then stop. but they perpetuate these things in the media. On Disney Channel, which is supposed to be safe for children, it's in cartoons. Yep. It's in the sexual innuendo. It's, as you can tell, I pulled out my soapbox. Let me put it away. It's bananas. It's bananas.
And that reminds me of a conversation that we had probably 15 years ago.
Oh,
and
Lord,
you may not
Jesus.
remember, but we were talking about the singer Sherelle. I think that's her name. To be real. Dum, 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 dum. And we were talking about her as a one-hit wonder, and I was saying, I wonder if she got all diva and was, you know, if that was the cause of her demise after her hit, because I love that song. That's one of my all-time favorite songs. And you were saying, because of your experience with following her career a lot more closely, no, she was plus size.
Yeah, I think we're talking about Cheryl Lynn. I think we're talking about Cheryl Lynn. Yeah, to be real, and then she had to join with Luther Vandross. Absolutely, I remember this conversation. Still, I remember that conversation. Yeah,
so before you comment, this
go ahead.
What I want to say.
Okay.
Is be careful with your words, because you never know when you have an opportunity to change somebody's life. That conversation changed my life, and people don't realize, like, India Arie has a song that says "Talk to Her," and one of the lines in that song says, "Make your words sweet like candy, as if you're talking to your granny." Right?
Wow. Yeah.
And when you said that, I said, man, let me go back and reevaluate how I approach things that I don't know that much about. So, but yeah, that was a conversation that we had, and he was like, no, because of her size, they had trouble marketing her. And that probably led to some issues, like that. As hot as that song still is today, there's no reason that woman didn't have a diamond career with 10 million albums sold, because she can sing, right?
That first of all, wow, you know, and wow, that was about, because we were still working together back then. Wow. So I'm grateful that I always speak my heart. It's on my sleeve, and some people, don't wear your heart on your sleeve, and don't. That's who I am, and that ain't changing. But Cheryl Lynn, she was recently, back during the pandemic, they had this mic series called Pass the Mic, and that was where I forget the DJ's name, but he did a Zoom with all of these hip hop artists or old school R&B artists, and they all were singing, and she was one of the singers. And again, still beautiful voice. Still a little heavy set, but it is when you have singers today like Lizzo, and I call her a singer / rapper because she kind of floats in both lanes. She has really done, I think, a great job at kicking in the door on that sort of topic, that thing, to make people notice her. Now, what I want to be careful with is there is a very thin line between having the healthy body self-image and exploitation you just pointed out a minute ago. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a very thin line where I've seen the media get very close to the line of taking her from being fabulous to just like just fatty, and they making fun of her. You know what I'm saying? They dance along the line, and I get it. She's strong enough to pull it off, but that line is so dangerous, because when you have an audience, and Lizzo probably has, I mean, I'm almost 50 and I follow her, and I'm sure she has people, teenage and adolescent girls that follow her. And again, I'm a fan. I love her to death. But the media, it's not her, it's the media and those promotional people that come close to the line. An adult can handle a blurred line, an adolescent can't. You know what I'm saying? So yes, she walked through with her ass out. Right? It made, she trended, she made the news, she was on local news, she was everywhere. An adolescent don't know how to separate the fact that, okay, well, you know what, she was like, F it, I'm just gonna do me. They'll see that as, that's what I gotta do. That's what I gotta do. You know,
especially if they are aspiring artists and trying to do the entertainment game. And those,
we'd be remiss if we didn't, and I know we got to get going again. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention TikTok. When I tell you, oh my God, I gotta put my drink down for this one. There are a selective group of ladies on TikTok. Again, same subject matter, healthy body image. TikTok is the home for big guys and big girls. You know, it's big boy season. All the big boys is out there on TikTok making videos.
It's that time.
It's that time.
Season.
You know what I'm saying? Big girls, they got the BBW thing. I run on TikTok. My videos is out there, and I get on TikTok. There's things I do on TikTok that don't hit Facebook. That's just it. And it ain't anything crazy. It's just that when I'm on TikTok, I have a little bit more freedom of expression on TikTok than I do because my audience is already established here. TikTok is a whole new audience for me. But there are a select group of females that are plus size, and they make a mockery. I said it. She said what she said. They make a mockery of being plus size. They get out there and they purposely stand there and they just jiggle. It's like somebody hit them in the head and they start at the top and work all the way down. And they wear things. Again, I'm a fan because, you know, I wore some risky stuff. The girls be doing what they do and all of that. But they wear things that I'll be like, oh, we'll put that on. I wouldn't wear that. Yeah. And I think it's novelty. They do it to get likes. They do it to be popular, and they literally jump and it's buffoonery. It's buffoonery because they jump and jiggle and shake, and it's not ladylike. It's not classy. It's not sexy or attractive. You're being a buffoon because you want these likes and you like the numbers on the side of your heart. 2 point somebody million people have liked it, or you know what I'm saying, thousands and thousands of people. That's buffoonery, and that is what we're teaching our children. And there's got to be a line in the sand.
Yeah, and I think the context matters there, right?
Yeah.
If you want to shake it like your mama, shake what your mama gave you, because that is creating a healthy space for you. That context has to be there versus, listen, if I can get so many likes, I can monetize this platform and I can make me some money. But then afterwards, I'm going to go and cry myself to sleep every night, right? There's got to be context to it.
Thank you.
I think so. Number 3, present diverse images of beauty. This is huge. So my platform for media is going to be heavily entrepreneurial focused, right? I'm an entrepreneur supremacist like my man, Mark Will Russell, right? Yeah, white supremacists, black supremacists. Well, I'm an entrepreneur supremacist. I believe that entrepreneurs will change the world for the better. And we always have, right? Yeah. So my platform is going to be heavy on bringing entrepreneurship to the community. But I think this is so key is that TV will say without saying what beauty is. And if you haven't figured out, if you got kids and you haven't figured out that your kids pick up more than they are taught, you got to get that. You got to get that. Kids pick up more than they are taught. And what that means is I didn't have to sit down and teach my sons every word in the English language. I literally sat down and taught them how to say a few things. Well, where did they get this vocabulary from? They picked it up. Everything around them. And that's what TV does. Not all beautiful women are thin and blonde. Rent a batch of foreign movies to show your kids different perspectives from other cultures. Check out paintings online by artists like Rubens and CORTEZ, who preferred full-figured models, right?
What
we have to create these opportunities for our youth to find and see other definitions of beauty, right? And it does have to come from other than parents. Yes, when they get older, they're going to remember, all my dad did was say I'm beautiful. All my mom did was say I was beautiful. But while they're going through those transition years, that's not going to resonate. They need to hear validation from other people that says their body style, their hair texture, their look, their appearance, their shape is beautiful.
Absolutely. There's so much in that. But back to this Rubens and Colbert. What they do, they still be looking for the plus size. I heard, yo, I'm here. All right, we'll do that later. Okay, number 4, encourage your daughter's interest in a wide range of subjects. Help your daughter supplement her interests in fashion and beauty with additional academic and cultural activities, such a plus. Music lessons or foreign language classes will enrich her life and let her feel more accomplished, right? So everything should not just be centered on beauty, and introduce other things to them so that, here's the kicker in this whole thing, was said, but not, it was implied, but not said. Introducing these other things lets them know that their beauty is not just physical. Your beauty is what's in you, your talents, your gifts, your uniqueness. That is your beauty. Let it exude from the inside out, not just from the outside. I have a great niece and I love her to death. And she's a beautiful little girl. She's brighter skin. She's got gray eyes, beautiful little girl. And one of the things I always talk to my niece about, and I watch her sometimes, because the older daughter, I think she's like 4. She looks like that. And the younger daughter is 2. And she is about my complexion. Very, very beautiful child, but she's just a darker complexion, and they are apples and oranges. And so the niece that is brighter skinned, she's used to hearing, "Oh, you're beautiful. You're so pretty. You're so pretty." I kept them, and I caught her at 4 years old. She had a mirror. She found one of my mirrors. And what I tell you, she had a whole 20 minutes of just looking at herself in the mirror. Yeah. And so when I'm with them, I try to get them doing other activities outside of holding the mirror looking. But then I get, I try to get them to do other activities, drawing, singing, let's do some other things. And I try to pick out those things. This is why you're beautiful. Your looks is just your package. I try to illustrate. I showed her a really pretty box I had. Wrapping box I have for somebody's birthday or something. I said, "You like the way this looks on the outside?" She says, "It's very shiny, TT shell, and it's pretty." I opened the box, there was nothing in it. I said, "You want it? It's a present. You can have it." She said, "Okay." And she got it. And she took the top off. She said, "There's nothing in it." I said, "I know. It's only pretty on the outside, but there's nothing on the inside." And I said, you want to, it's okay to be pretty on the inside, but you want to put something on the inside. I said, "So let's go fill up the box with all your favorite stuff." She put candy in there. She put some Boretts in there. She put some money in there. She put some things that she associated with value in there. Put the top back on. I said, "Now you have something good. The outside looks good, but the inside looks good too." You know what I'm saying? So we have to, just to illustrate, we have to, that worked out well for this episode. But we have to just make sure that our kids see something other than just the physical beauty. Let's dig out those other talents. And this is again, like you said earlier, men, young boys as well as young women, dig out those other talents so they see that their beauty is not just what's on the outside. It's going to come from what's on the inside. So.
And this is where this conversation means so much for adults.
Yes.
Because without saying the other child isn't as pretty, we are saying the other child isn't as pretty. Because if everybody talks over the gray eyes, then and even when you come to the other child and say, "Oh, you're pretty as well," it's, "Yeah, I'm pretty, but I'm secondarily pretty. I'm pretty, but I'm afterthought pretty." Right?
Come on.
Man, listen, it goes deep. When you understand that psychological scars that haunt us for the rest of our lives are created between 0 and 5, 0 and 7 years old. People got to understand that, and that shapes a child's perspective. And everywhere they go and everything they see for the rest of their lives, they see a world that says that they're secondarily beautiful. They're beautiful.
That's so rich. I'm gonna tell you this. The last part I'm gonna make about that story. Something else that I would do with them. For every time I call bless her heart. Every time I call her in the mirror, "You need to give your sister a compliment." I said, every time you look in the mirror, I want you to look at your younger sister, and I want you to say, "You're pretty, you're beautiful." I say, every time somebody compliments you, I want you to take and share that compliment with your sister. Every single time. You know what I'm saying? So that you don't get, because I'm like at 4, she's getting very, and I don't want to see her because again, I love all my nieces, but she's getting very self-absorbed at 4. You know, I remember back when she was maybe 3-ish. Cable man came to do something with my internet, fixing something. He walks in the room and he was like, "Hey, how are you, pretty?" She instantly threw her hands up for him to pick her up. He was a stranger. Now, thank God for Jesus, this man. I'm standing right there. I surely would have throat checked him. But she threw her hands up, and he was like, "Hey, baby, I'm a stranger. You don't." And so I had to snatch her. I was distracted. I had to snatch her up. But he had enough sense to say, "I'm a stranger." But she instantly threw her hands up and was like, "Okay, you said I'm pretty. Pick me up."
Right.
Dangerous.
Wow. And
Dangerous.
Listen. You don't see. I listen and I love words, and that is a tweetable. You said I'm pretty. Pick me up. That ain't just for babies.
I'm about to knock this phone over, and we've been just in the show right now. Come on. Okay,
you said I'm pretty. Pick me up. Man, listen. Let's move on. We about to have church up here.
I can't with you.
Clothing guidelines. That ain't just for babies. That ain't.
It ain't. That ain't. I say you should go there. I ain't scared. I say you should go there. What they gonna do?
Clothing guidelines. Number 1. Now this is for children.
Yeah.
Right. Keep this in mind. Right. Yeah. Avoid sexy apparel for young children. Steer clear of racy clothing being marketed for children and preteens. Let your daughter enjoy her youth free from praying eyes.
Oh, I can't do this today.
It's so, I know, and I don't have this experience because I'm not a woman, but I just remember when Beyonce came to town, right, to St. Louis. And I remember this great experience of mamas and daughters really coming together and loving on each other and enjoying this experience together. But when I tell you the amount of 9 and 10-year-old girls I saw dolled up to look like Beyonce with next to nothing on, I was like, man, on one hand, I love it. Mom, your daughter's going to take this experience and this is going to create a bond between the two of you forever, right? But then on the other hand, I'm like, man, that baby will have just as much of a bond, will have just enough of an experience of this whole thing if she had a sweatsuit on. Now, for my sisters, the last thing I want to do is tell a woman. I listen to Dr. Venus all the time, and she is serious about don't tell me as a grown woman how to put my body on display. This is liberating for me, and I get that. But for the girls, don't give them that identity. If they discover that identity in their adulthood, and that's who they want to be, and they're grown and let them be that. But don't start steering them down the road because you started dressing scantily at 15 and you said, well, I never got raped. So it's don't do it. Clothes on babies.
You know what? I just say we did a show about this last year, the year before last. We've been on a while, okay? But we did a show about this, I think our first season, and age appropriate clothing. Man, when I tell you in the summertime, especially summertime here in St. Louis, when I see people dress toddlers like grown ass women, I hate it. When they dress, I think anything under the age of 15, halter tops, short skirts, leggings with crop tops on little girls.
Yeah.
No, age appropriate clothing, please. That it just, it opens a door for so much. And unfortunately, we live in a fallen world, and everybody is not going to respect your child as a child. There's a lot of grown men out here that look at teenagers, they're pedophiles, but because they don't go around, they don't drive around in white panel vans, they don't think that they're pedophiles. You know what I'm saying? But they lusting after your baby.
Yeah.
Don't, you just can't take a chance. To me, I think it's just so inappropriate. Get to put that baby in something cute, please, babyish, something age appropriate. Whole another thing, I'll get started on that, because I didn't do that with my kids. You know what I'm saying? I dressed my kids like kids. I did their hair like kids until they got to middle school. And I said, you on your own with your hair. But there were certain things they knew not to put on.
That's important. That's important because it says to the world that this is still a baby.
Thank you. But they roll pigtails. I called it the tricycle, the 2 pigtails here and 1 pigtail in the back, the tricycle. They rolled that out to middle school. They're like, when can I wear my hair down? When you do your own hair, middle school, 7th grade, not 6th grade, 7th grade. Until then, pigtails, because you're a child still.
You're a child. And
you're a child.
I think when we don't look at it that way, and by the way, if you guys want this document, it's in Michelle's group on Facebook. So join Michelle's group for women. She does women empowerment stuff in there all the time, because we're not going to get through this.
We're not, sorry.
I think this conversation is something that has to be had. But I think when you, mom, because you want your baby to be cute, it's the very same thing with men and the way they teach their little boys to be tough and all this kind of stuff. When you rob them of being a child, listen, you're going to be grown for 80 years.
You hear me?
Be a kid for 16, 17.
Thank you.
Stop rushing to make these babies grown. Listen, they got the rest of their lives to be grown. So I get it. It's cute to put the short shorts on your little daughter because it's cute. But what it's doing is making that baby more comfortable showing more skin. So if I, from the time I'm 4 or 5 years old, wear short shorts to the time I get to high school, well, by the time I get to high school, I'm comfortable in a thong in public. I don't think that's cute at all.
No. Very thin line. We don't want them to be ashamed, right? We don't want them to be ashamed, but then we don't want that to be the calling card. We don't want that to be what they think they have to do in order to be seen. That's, I think, the difference.
Correct.
That's the difference.
So we got a whole bunch more on this list. Avoid apparel, enforce dress codes for teens, and to each his own. Parents, ladies and gentlemen, we're just giving our perspectives. To each his own. And I'm not saying that if your baby wears short shorts, that's going to make her more susceptible to violation. For me, I'm an eternal optimist. I know that there's predators out there, but there's a lot of, like Michelle said, the guy said, look, girl, don't be running to me like that because you don't know me. You don't know the evil that could be inside of me. So don't do that. So I think there's far more people like that than are predators, but we also know that there are predators. Right? Shop for clothes that flatter your daughter's best features. I don't agree because shop for clothes that flatter your daughter's best features. Well, what if your daughter's best features should not be flattered at 14?
You hear me?
You got to be careful with that one.
Right.
Talk to your daughter about buying her first bra. These sorts of things. Support your daughter in maintaining a healthy image. Well, like you said, Michelle, believing in your beauty. But just like you don't want to be exploited by somebody else, don't go exploiting yourself for Instagram likes and followers and things of that nature. But have the conversation about what's appropriate and what's not. Save these babies and allow them to be babies for as long as they're willing to be babies. Just trust and believe. When they're sick and tired of it, ain't no turning back. I remember when I took my family to New Orleans for the first time for our family reunion, my my dad's mom is raised them in New Orleans, right? And I just remember that my cousin, one of my first cousins, was 14 years old, freshman in high school. And her sister must have been maybe 6th or 7th grade. I don't know what the age difference is between them. But when I say that it pleased my soul to see her playing dolls with her sister as a freshman in high school, and I'm like, that's where it should be, not anything, not trying to be grown too fast, and was fully comfortable and fully okay. Like, hey, this is who I am. I'm having a good time with my sister, and not I'm playing dolls with my sister's dolls. No, I'm gonna bring my dolls. You bring your dolls.
Right, right.
That's where she was at 14 years old.
That's good.
And that was pleasing to me. And I just hope that more parents will allow their children to be children, because they don't have but a moment. Final thoughts before we shout out our sponsor before we get out.
Man, final thoughts, man. Just beauty's on the inside. So cliche, but really help, regardless of your child. It's so important, especially with young women, to build them from the inside as well as the outside. Help them to discover and see their natural beauty, beyond the clothes, beyond the makeup, beyond the hair. Help them see that what is on the inside of them is just as beautiful as what's on the outside. Help them to see it. Help them to showcase it. So that, again, once they start believing it, others will believe it too. So gotta pour in to get out.
And then there's a flip side of this conversation, right? The flip side is for those beautiful kids who do get the attention. Can we blame them for being beautiful? Can we make them feel bad about their beauty? That's a whole nother conversation.
It is. Yep, absolutely.
They suffer from some of the same wounds, right? I did nothing wrong. I was born this way and I got a certain amount of attention, but I feel guilty because my brother, my sister, they get this attention. I was born athletic, able to run fast. I don't know why I can run this fast, but my brother is a little bit clumsy. So I feel guilty that everybody gawks over my athleticism, and he doesn't have it, and they call him puny or whatever. That's a whole nother conversation.
It is. We're
gonna have that conversation on this show one day soon. So we appreciate all of y'all for tuning in. Until we talk to you next time, we want you to get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. More importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up.